What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of IDK Sports Podcast, your premier spot to talk sports with the average guys. My name is Anthony. I got my main man Kenny with me. And
What's
this is the
happening?
YouTube exclusive episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, to our growing community. We got to get a name. We're going to get a name eventually for like what you call the fan. I don't want to call it chat. The fans, you know what I'm saying? We got to find something.
You want an IDK Army with the IDK Navy?
You know what I'm saying? That we don't know what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Army. You know, I don't get it. A lot of people say I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know.
Often, and it's the same over here. we come on here, we just make stuff up. That's what they're telling us.
That's what they tell me.
Which also means we stick on brand. So that means that's good news, right? That we stay on brand with just making stuff up. So that's good.
Exactly. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
Get straight to it today, brother.
Get straight to it. Let me get this off the screen. All right, let's get straight to it. Early first month of the season is over. First month of the football season is ended. You know, we're now leaving September, going into October. So basically, for a lot of people, that's a quarter of the season, especially for pro. That's about a quarter of the season over. And some teams got some stuff to worry about. Some teams are feeling good about themselves. Some fan bases are feeling bad about their coaches and bad about their team. Me, and both my teams actually. And others, you know, feeling a little bit more positive right now. So you know what I'm saying? Really want to get into some of those narratives right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's start with college. You know, I think the first biggest narrative that I see is this year is really proof of the NIL and the transfer portal. There is no number one team this year in my eyes. Like no team that's like last year you had Ohio State look really dominant for most of the year. Texas looked really good for most of the year. Who else? Notre Dame. I don't say one. Notre Dame was all right, but they
Oregon was tough for a while last year.
Oregon was tough for a lot of last year. And it was like, no, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? Right. This year, everybody's kind of like really any given Saturday, especially after this Saturday, a lot of the games are closer. Like, what you think Tech is on the roll? Tech had a scare against Georgia Tech, had a scare against Wake Forest. Ohio State, even though the score don't reflect it, had a tough game against
it was close for a lot of that game.
Washington. Yep. Tennessee had a tough game going into Mississippi State. Indiana kicks Illinois' ass in prime time, have a tough time against Iowa.
Ole Miss, LSU.
Ole Miss, LSU. Hell, even Vandy and Utah State. That game was close. It's like at this point, I don't know. I have ideas who might be the team to beat, like a team to beat in each conference.
Yeah.
And we can go down the conference list and talk about it. But any given like A&M was good to me, but they close game against Auburn. I think the biggest narrative show, like, we don't know who's going to be in this playoffs.
And we don't really know. And that's like the honesty of it. It's like, has it turned into like even a part of this? Like you just mentioned that Texas A&M game. I was like, I'm starting to question, like, well, how good is Oklahoma then? You know, or I see that this Georgia team is struggling with Bama a little bit. It's like, okay, well, is this the same Bama that played FSU? And then you just as soon as you want to say that, it's like, well, just this past Friday, that same FSU, they had all they could stand of that UVA rushing attack, bro. So it's like, I don't know. Not only do we know who's the strongest of the pack, like who's the alpha team, but it's also like we don't know what everybody's calling card is neither. Like there's no identity amongst the two. Like, hey, I know I'm gonna come down here, or we're gonna meet up on Saturday and we're gonna play tough defense, or I don't know what you kind of bring into the table. It's really it's like almost like boxing in a way where a style makes a fight. Like I don't know who's bringing what style to the table every Sunday, and if that even matters come third, fourth quarter, because we're just trying to scramble up a win the best way we can and get out of here.
Yeah.
So it's all a bit confusing as far as who's going to be at the top of the the top of the rankings. Hell, by October, forget November.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, any given Saturday right now, there's no real clear team. So, like, we want to go down to conferences. I think Ohio State and Oregon are the top class of the Big Ten. Penn State right underneath with Indiana. I don't think I'm
Okay,
ready to say this
now
after the
you
Oregon
come on.
thing. I don't think Penn State is not that big a difference between Penn State, Indiana, Illinois, and USC.
They are a clear tier 2 team.
When
Clear
it
cut
comes,
tier
okay,
2 clear cut tier 2 Big 10 team.
like
That was a lot.
I think but I think that like, do I think they are better than they norm? Like, are they still better than Indiana, Illinois, and them? But I don't think the gap is that much. You know what I'm saying? I think.
Are we staying in the vacuum of this year? Because I don't know how well that Penn State team will survive Indiana that just played Illinois a couple weeks ago
Yeah,
or a week or so ago. I don't know if they survived that game.
it
I
depends
don't
on where
know.
it's at. If it's on the road, I give Indiana a good chance. I still think it's something about Penn State at home, but I don't know. Like the other narrative, we can get to that narrative since we already talking about the Big Ten before we go to other conferences.
Yeah,
Narrative of James Franklin, like James Franklin and Penn State, can they win the big game?
it's a resounding no. It's a resounding no, and it's not just stuck on this game. It's college football playoffs is kind of factored into it as well, as far as how things just get tense or they just never get over the hump. And we're talking about like class act war, preseason watch list teams or with hellified talent on it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's the Abdul Carter version of this team, whether that's the trying to think back a few years, like how many teams been led or who was leading those Penn State teams of the past in this very moment. But we're talking that they push out at least somewhere between three to four top 100 players easily, almost
Mm-hmm.
every year on cue. So they're not without talent. They're not without somebody that's almost a household name.
Yeah.
But yet and still, when it comes time to shine the brightest and when it comes time to get over that hump, they can never do it. And so that has nothing to do with your talent. That has to do with your coaching. That has to do with the culture. They know that. And again, if we bring up another topic that we talked about before, it's about that schedule as well. It's like, well, damn, how good is Penn State? We never really know until competition comes into the room or until they turn the lights on at night. We never really know. Up until that point, it is God hope for the best. We are world beaters. Everyone is everyone should bow and kiss the ring, bow at our feet. But up until then, or until they go play Ohio State, or until more recently Oregon comes to play, it's like, oh, well, it was just a tough game. Or we play Boise. Oh man, playoffs, anything can happen in the playoffs. There's always like a built-in excuse. Well, this is the same rigor that other conference teams have to run through. That's not
Mm-hmm.
just a task that's just exclusive to just the Penn State or just to James Franklin. He can never get over that hump for that.
Yeah. So I don't know how much they called it everything because I just went away. You saw me go away?
I saw you go away.
But it is what it is. So like you said, James, like, this is another thing. Like, is anybody scared of whiteout games? I feel like, what whiteout game have they won?
In recent years,
Like, what big time whiteout game have they won? They make it such a big deal.
that's just like the times of, I want to say, like, oh dude, I don't know, maybe like a Jahan Dotson era, like maybe a Saquon era. Last time they won in a
Like,
whiteout game.
they make such a big deal. Like, oh, whiteout at Penn State. I feel like I know the last 3 they lost, right? if I'm not mistaken. But I'm just saying, like, who's scared of that game?
Sometimes you just gotta make sure that a guy can bleed. We just want to make sure that they can bleed, they can be touched. And that ain't. By no means do I think a whiteout game is on the same level as going into like Death Valley or going into the swamp or going into the big house. Like I don't think they have that much allure at this very definitely not right now. It doesn't seem that intense. Or hell, going to play Mizzou. I don't know. Like it's just what I'm saying. It's not really carrying that much weight right now. All it did, I mean,
not when it's a big opponent, but like I just don't know. Like Penn State just can't get over the hump to beat them teams. Like I said, that's a narrative that James Franklin just can't shake. Ever since he's been there, he's gonna win 10 games. He's gonna beat everybody besides Ohio State, the Oregon now, Michigan when they're good. They'll beat everybody else, but them teams.
Yeah, I mean, again, but does it matter if you don't beat the guy?
At this point, no. If you're fighting for national championships, if you're trying to fight for a national championship, I don't know.
And along the way, other people have entered the chat since then.
Yeah. Now that Oregon is here, yeah. But like, back to like the narrative, like who's going to win? Like I said, the Big Ten wide open. I still think it's Ohio State or Oregon, but I do think Indiana has a team is better this year than they was last year. I do think they are a better team this year and more prepared this year to maybe win these games. But any given Saturday, like out of this conference, do you see it's a 2 or 3 bid conference again?
Yeah.
So definitely 2.
Yeah.
You see it's 3. Last year they got Oregon, Indiana, and Penn State in.
No.
Okay.
So once we go conference by conference, I can probably illustrate more. But I don't see a case where after Oregon and Ohio State that you can't say for certain that who else? Penn State, Indiana should probably be in it. Yeah. After that. And that's probably gonna come down to, I'm not looking at their schedules right now, but between Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon, one of them got to see each other before the year's up.
Yeah,
and that's before the Big Ten. That's before the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
So somebody got to cancel out the other. So, and it's possible that you're possibly going into the Big Ten championship with 1-loss, 2-loss team, possibly.
Could definitely be a 2-loss team.
And it could very well be a 2-loss team. And then again, that's where you start hitting the feedback from Penn State, because I can definitely see them being a 2-loss team towards the end of this year. But that's when you start hearing the cries again about we should be in there. But after 2 teams, no. Yeah, again, this is kind of bringing some of that parity back that we used to see in the SEC, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Moving from the Big Ten, I don't want to talk about the Big 12. ACC. The ACC I don't know. Okay, let me say this. It's a competitive league. Now,
that's an improvement from what you said before.
that that they're good. That there are a lot of good teams in the ACC, but I will say it's a competitive league. You got, and it's wild because you have Syracuse go to Clemson, beat Clemson, and then lose to Duke. I mean, got the ass whooped really by Duke. Then Tech has a hard time with Wake Forest. Who else? Like Clemson obviously ain't as good as we think they are, but they could be in the mix again, go on a run to be in the ACC championship game again.
Yeah.
Miami looks like the class of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
With Carson Beck and them guys really rolling, but it just seemed like they got Florida next week. They got Florida State next week. I meant to say. Thought how good is Florida State? Was the Alabama thing just like Alabama just played bad? or the UVA just play good. I told people that Tony Elliott was doing a little bit of things at UVA. Everybody didn't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't want to hear that.
That's a one-loss team. That's a one-loss UVA team.
Was going to surprise some people at UVA this year. The ACC, I think it's still a one bid conference. I think it's Miami, and then I think Tech. They asking a lot of their quarterbacks to stay healthy all year, the way they play.
Yeah, but I think, of course, not barring injury, he's going. Haynes King is also sneaky Heisman, but he's playing world class ball right now, and you can never count him out as long as he's lacing him up week in and week out. You can never count Tech out. And as I've been saying on this pod, bro, like Tech is kind of surpassing that point of now they don't catch somebody slipping. It's like, damn, y'all might better hope y'all can catch them slipping. It might take a Friday night game for to catch Tech slipping at this point. You know, it kind of, it was boiling down even last year. Kind of coming close to where they was playing in Miami. When they was playing Miami last year. Okay, now there's something to deal with. Tech is something to deal with. Now we spinning the block right back again. They're off to a hot start. Who's going to be the class of the conference? We're going to hold out for Miami. Again, I'm not looking at their schedules right now. But along the way, I won't discount a bounce back from Syracuse. Again, UVA showed me a lot, and that's still a one-loss team. I wouldn't put it past who else is out there. Wouldn't pass Clemson playing 4 quarters one game, and they just sneak in for whatever reason they end up winning something to get down.
Clemson going like, even though it's looked bad for Clemson, they was on a bye. I think it was on a bye this week.
Right.
They could go on a run and get their way back in it. You know what I'm saying? They probably play some of the harder teams they're going to play. I don't know if they play Miami this year. I don't know how the ACC schedule fall, but they played Tech already. You know, I don't know how all their schedule fall, but I could definitely see Clemson getting their way back into the ACC championship game to play Miami. It just this conference, like I said, competitive, yes. It could be some upsets in this conference, but I still think it's Miami. I'm gonna say a one bid team. And that's where my Big Ten, maybe 3 bids come in. I think this is a one bid team. And then as we move on to the next conference, the SEC, the SEC is where do you justify? Like, this is where it's gonna come to the committee, because I see I think Texas A&M is good. Ole Miss is really good. Alabama ain't lost the conference game. Who else is 3 of them? It's a lot of teams. Oklahoma, yeah, they was on the bye. They play Texas in the Red River Shootout next week, I think. This conference now comes to the committee. Do you think this conference is overly strong, or do you think some of these is overhyped, right? And while I say that, it's because if you think it's overly strong, then you can justify having a two-loss teams in this playoff, right? Because you're talking about you could have a 2-loss LSU team, right? You can have a 2-loss Georgia team, right? In the conference, this is the year where I think the conference championship game team will have 2 losses and one will have. There will be no undefeated team in the conference championship.
No question.
So then it could be 3 or 4 more teams with 2 losses. You could have, like I said, a Georgia with 2 losses. Say they lose again. You can have an LSU that has another loss. You can have South Carolina. How many losses South Carolina? 1 right now to Mizzou. Like, since there is no dominant team in this conference right now, right? What does that look like now when it comes committee time? Can I justify putting 3 2-loss teams, like 3 2-loss and a 1-loss? Conference champion automatically gets in, right? Do I justify putting 2 2-loss teams in there over maybe a 1-loss runner-up Big 12 team or a 1-loss third place Big 10 team? Or a 1-loss Georgia Tech? You say Miami wins the conference championship and Georgia Tech has an L. Like, it's going to come down now to perspective, which is going to make a lot of people upset and some people happy.
Every year.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's set up. But I just really think, like, out of the SEC, since some people deem that the strongest conference, some people don't. Where does that lead now when it comes playoff time? Because I can definitely see a 2-loss runner-up. So if there's a 2-loss runner-up, there's another team that got 2 losses too. But they can look at their schedule and be like, I played. Like, say Texas lose 2 games. One to Ohio State and one to another, like a Oklahoma team. Right? Yeah. And they went out. Well, I lost to maybe the Big Ten champion and maybe another team that was high up in the SEC. Say Oklahoma finished high. And we both finished with 2 losses and say, I'm just talking hypothetical, Oklahoma makes the SEC championship game, right? With 1 loss. Or they run the table. Let's take out the John Mateer's not hurt. And they run the table. And they lose or win the SEC championship game. Texas beats everybody left on their schedule besides Oklahoma. And they only lost it to like a SEC champion Oklahoma and Ohio State champion Ohio State. Do they have the case to be in there, even though they got 2 losses?
But they went on a run and they ended up beating Georgia. Probably Georgia later on this year.
Yeah.
And
you beat some teams.
Yeah, you still gonna beat some teams. There had to be something redemptive about that Texas team. Like, did you get an SEC conference bid?
No,
championship bid. Excuse me.
Okay, take Oklahoma out of it. Say they lose, they beat everybody else, but they lose the end of the year to A&M. A&M goes on to win the SEC championship, which this could likely happen.
Yeah.
A&M get the automatic bid. And then maybe a 1-loss runner-up, let's say is, hell, they on my ass anyway. Say Bama loses the SEC championship game with 1 loss to FSU, right? Texas beats everybody else, right? They only loss would have been to and I don't know, hypotheticals, I don't know if Texas play A&M. I mean, Texas play Alabama or not. But say they don't play Alabama, right? They only loss would have been to a Texas A&M that won the championship and Ohio State that won the Big Ten, hypothetically. You have a strong case to say that we still belong in there.
Still to be here.
Even though Bama's going to get in because they're the runner-up and A&M is going to get in, I have a strong case to say I should be there, even with my 2 losses. Now, I think it helps this year because Notre Dame is out in my eyes. There's nothing Notre Dame can do to get in.
And that's where your placeholder comes in, right? So that independent bid that Notre Dame took up, that's where if you was thinking about putting a 3-bid conference in, whoever that 3rd ranking team is for you, automatically in like a head-to-head, schedule comparison. Again, to your point, if we're using Texas as an example, they're still gonna come away with wins. In your hypothetical, they're still gonna come away with wins against Tennessee and against Georgia if they just went out.
Yeah.
All right, and Oklahoma, let's just say they went out like that.
Yeah.
Off break, you saying, okay, no, that's more worthy than whatever Notre Dame could even play. Even if they go on a run, that's still more worthy than that.
But see, this is where how it's looked, right? So let me flip it back, right? Go back to the Big Ten. Ohio State plays Oregon. They both get in.
Right.
Now you got a 1-loss Indiana team, 2-loss Indiana team, and a 2-loss Penn State team. Now, for me, this is for Anthony. I'm speaking for Anthony. This is where non-conference matters. Because to me, I still pick Texas in this hypothetical because you went and challenged yourself against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana didn't play nobody, nor did Penn State play nobody in non-conference.
Bingo.
So this is where perspective comes in now.
Yeah.
And then I just take the names off of it. Because we can say confidently probably be Indiana and Penn State on the outside looking in, right? Yeah. But just take any SEC team, right? Take Bama. Say Bama loses another game and lose to Florida State and say they lose to.
Hell, they can lose to Vandy.
Talk about it.
For while we talking about it, they can lose to Vandy. Go ahead.
But like, this is where perspective comes in now. Because Penn State gonna be like, oh man, we only lost to like, I don't know, they play Ohio State. Say they play Ohio State this year. I don't know. I'm not looking at the schedule. We're just talking. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? We only lost to Ohio State and Oregon. So now, again, we already under the assumption that in this year's lineup, that we can 100% say that the SEC champion and the runner-up are going to get in. And we can also say that the Big Ten champion and the runner-up are most likely going to get in. Mm-hmm. Now we go for that third bid. I don't think both teams get 3 bids. 12, that's 6 of them, right? And you still got the Big 12 champion, that's 7. Well, 3 teams could get in. You got the Big 12 champion. Then you know that's a 1 bid. And then you got the group of 5.
Group of 5 schools. Who's the best out they bunch?
So you got Tulane sitting there. USF is gonna have something to say. It depends on who gets on the road. You know what I'm saying with that. My guess this year, now that Ohio State, how many got in last year? You had Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and Indiana got in. So 4 teams got in.
Way too much.
The SEC had Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, and they had 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7. I'm missing somebody.
Well, ACC, that's what SMU.
ACC 7. So then the ACC had Clemson and SMU. ACC had 2 people. I forgot. Yeah, that's 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Notre Dame. And then you had Arizona
Boise.
State.
Oh yeah.
And then you had Boise. Yeah, so that's 12. So I guess the better question is now that I'm counting it out in my head, who's going to get 4 teams in, who's going to get 3? So then if you're saying 4 are going to get in from one conference?
No, it's too much, bro.
No, I'm just saying though, like think about it. But think about how they're going to do it, right? And we can like move off because you know what I'm saying, I don't want to talk too much. We got other things to talk about. But if you got 4, because it's like, think about it. That placeholder of Notre Dame ain't there no more. If they put Notre Dame in that thing, then Notre Dame paid to be in it because you had your chance. You lost both of the games that you had to win.
It doesn't matter because you're not playing no conference championship game. You're not there is no set schedule that we can bookmark you on.
USC is the next big one. That's it.
That's what I said. We might as well just slot you every year that you're gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they get in this year. Yeah, without beating Miami and losing to Texas A&M.
We might as well give you a guaranteed slot every year because there is no parameters for you.
So now I'm about confident this year. It's an argument to be made that a 3-loss team might make it this year with the way this year is playing. Because if you take Notre Dame out, that means out of the 7 spots, 3 is going to go. 3 or 4 is going to go to either the Big Ten or SEC. So automatically 3 is going to go, I think, for each conference. You're going to have the conference champion, the runner-up, and probably the 3rd place team, right? For both conferences, 3. That's 6, right? You got the ACC champion. That's 7. Group of 5 champion. The group of 5 best ranked person, that's 8.
Right.
Right? The Big 12 person, that's 9. That leaves 3 more spots.
3 wild cards, yeah.
Is the ACC good enough to get 2 bids?
And that's where it kind of lies on. See, that's the thing, right? So like,
I mean, Tech and Miami will have to go to the ACC championship undefeated, and I don't even know they play each other. They might play each other, but if they don't play this year, that means Tech and Miami have to go undefeated.
Well, again, that's based on ranking, right? So like if we saying, okay, I give you a perfect example, right? So let's say this Tony Elliott team wins out for whatever reason. They only got one win right now. They only have one loss right now.
Yeah.
UVA.
Yeah.
All right. And again, we're not looking at schedules right now, but for whatever reason, they don't run into Miami, they don't run into Tech, they don't run into any other like 1 loss or 2 loss team. They could still very well be sitting at ranked number 15, 17 in the nation.
Yeah.
But they still don't get no bid to play in the ACC conference game. So how is it? Hey, I'm just saying hypothetically, how is it that are we really taking the best ACC team in that situation just based on strength of schedule and based because they're not strong enough or they didn't get a place in the conference game?
This is where I think to me it's going to come down. This is how I see Notre Dame getting their way back in. If the Big Ten, if the ACC can't get 2 bids in there, because the Big 12 is not. The Big 12 is not, right? The Big 12 is not getting 2 bids. Whoever win that conference is going to get it. You're going to get in, right? You're not going to put 2 Group of 5 teams in there because nobody's blowing it out the water where 2 of them are going to get in. If the ACC is not good enough to get 2 bids, this is how Notre Dame sneaks their way. Because they probably went out, right? And this is how Notre Dame sneak their way back in. Because, like, say an undefeated Miami pays a 3-loss Clemson team.
Mm-hmm. And end up losing.
And even if they don't lose, if they play a 3-loss Clemson team and then Miami wins, then you have no justification for Clemson in there. Even if they're ranked number 18, 19 nation, it's like, I can't put them in
on good faith.
3 losses in the ACC. And they, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I think this year you got a chance set up. We got 4 teams from the SEC and Big Ten getting in and taking up 8 of the spots. And that's a lot.
I can't see a world, and that has to be a part of the formula too, that at most we're taking 3 from a conference. At most, we're taking 3.
But then it's also talking about the NIL and parity, right? Because I personally think there's going to be no undefeated team this year. I think Miami is the only team that got the best chance of going undefeated, and I still think they can get guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to see Oregon play Penn State. I don't think they can go undefeated. I think Ohio State can get guys, right? I think SEC gonna have a two-loss teams playing in the SEC championship
conference. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the team that we thought was the worst team in the SEC, Mississippi State. Even though Arkansas fired their coach, Arkansas, like even though besides the game from Notre Dame was 2 losses with like 2 fumbles or turnovers away from being undefeated. Mississippi State showed they done got wildly better. Vandy ain't no slouch
at all.
Like you said, Vandy played Bama this week, and I'll wait till Thursday to give my take because I'll wait to Thursday. Check in Thursday.
And get clipped.
You know what I'm saying? Check in on Thursday. But I think it's just talking to like the parity of how NIL and the transfer portal has changed lives for some of these schools. And I think the days of dominant teams being undefeated or even 1 loss,
it's safe programs, bro. It really is. I know we get upset about it, about players in and out the transfer portal, but it has saved some programs from obscurity. Yeah. Again, we just got done talking about schools like Georgia Tech and Vandy and the resurgence of Indiana, like other programs. Like it is saving some programs, bringing back a lot of blue buds as well back to life. As far as, hey, we're still here. Yeah. We're still worthy of a bid. We're still worthy of bowl games. We're still worthy of primetime television and getting TV deals for us. It has brought a lot of money back to the sport. But again, my final part note on this would be, we just need a qualifier, bro. It has to be a baseline qualifier as far as scheduling. So it can kind of, I don't know what that golden rule is amongst all conferences, amongst even independent teams as well. There has to be a golden rule that says, hey, if you don't meet this threshold, we're not even in consideration. Because in my eyes, a team like Notre Dame that has already lost twice to the top 25 teams,
Yeah.
you are almost on your way out the door, in my eyes.
And this is why people kill me when I said it. This is why I said you just have 4 conference champions. And okay, you got 2 buys. Top 2 teams get a bye. Right? And you have 3, what's that? The top 2 teams get a bye. If I got 4 conference champions, that leave 2 teams. And then you have 2 teams, the 2 highly rated teams after that, the highest ranking teams. 12 teams is I know it makes good money, it makes a lot of money, but college football is too vast and too subjective because when you start talking 2-1 and 3, then like you don't have, it's not like the NCAA tournament where you got 60 something.
Right.
They're talking about expanding that. So many teams play Division I basketball. 4 conference champions, highly rated, the 2 highest rated get a bye. Sadly, 2 teams, the 2 other conference championships got to play the first week, and then the 2 next highest rated teams, regardless of conference, get it. So if South Carolina is sitting there at wasn't the champion, but they're sitting there at 5 at the end of the year, they get it. Because now that values the regular season more for me. Because if I'm a 1 loss, I don't think it's too many teams, bro. It's hard because then after you get past, think about it. Once we got past 6 teams, it was kind of like, now it's this 2 losses
It can
here,
go
1
either way.
loss, 2
Yeah,
losses here.
it can go either
You know
way.
what I'm saying? That's why I said the BCS didn't get it wrong that many times. Y'all just didn't like it sometimes. It got it right most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what it kind of took away. We rather see it play out on the field than with the computer. So it was like, it was kind of
But
like
bowl games mattered though.
Yeah, I get it.
Bowl games mattered. Like bowl games mattered. Now the bowl games don't even matter, but bowl games used to be a big, even if you didn't make it, like making it to the Sugar Bowl, bowl games matter. You know what I'm saying? And then when you start getting 12 or expanding to 16, now you're gonna have, and then people get mad when one conference has 4 or 5 bids. So, I mean, we can move on. That's just, the college football stuff. But one thing before we move on out of college football, the next narrative is, and I'm seeing that a lot of people trying to put like they didn't say it, it's a lot more. This quarterback class is worse than last year's quarterback class.
Oh man, we gotta put that at the top. At the top. It's not that I don't know. And that's kind of what we were saying in like earlier episodes, bro. It's going to school longer. I don't even know if that's your saving grace, but the quarterback development, bro, is like, I don't know if it's being lost in like how many times you transferred. I don't know if it's being lost in, at the high school level, but the development is not there. It's not there. It's one of those feast or famine things. You either have it as a freshman, or we hope you reappear in your 5th, 6th year. Because whatever that middle passage is in between those 2 periods, bro, we might never hear from you again. But it's making a way for these younger cats to get on the field earlier. It's making a way for, it's getting a lot of coaches fired. I'll start there. But this class here, this expected class is coming in, and last year as well, oh boy, it is dreadful. It is dreadful.
I think that scouting and what you look for, like again, not saying that all these jokers gonna be not good pros, but like the grades that were given to some of these guys. I think that's why people talk about it more. But the grades that were given in the offseason to some of these guys, it's like, have you been watching what I've been watching for the past 4, 5, 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drew Allar, no signature wins. Big games, like sets up different, right? doesn't step up as much. Run game is the run game that they have, keeps them in games. I personally just think, like, we've seen it for 3 years now. What else do you need to see? Like, just because he's tall and got a strong arm, he doesn't throw to the outside well. Everybody sees that. That's why him and that tight end got along so well. He throws up the middle more. Garrett Nussmeier. What are we seeing him? He threw an ugly pick against Ole Miss this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think Brian Kelly cares for him that much. Cade.
Yeah. Now go ahead and get it out. Go ahead and get it out.
You know, Cade, we've seen it for 3 years. Like y'all had such high grades. Y'all was trying to throw old boy out there at Arizona State. Nah. Like, we've got to the point now, which I've been saying for the past year or two, that as a quarterback, signature wins mean something. Dominating, if you're going to be the top guy, dominating means
Got to be the top guy. Got to be the top guy.
And now we get to the point where some of these guys just doing mediocres. And like, well, you see this.
It's glimpses, brother. It's really glimpses, right? Because even if you, let's say overall you have like a 2 interception game, we'll call you a gamer. If you still, work the ball down the field and you scrambled and moved the chains a couple times, we'll call you a gamer, and we'll throw another label on. It's just another draft buzzword label that we can throw on you to kind of enhance your stock. When the truth is, bro, you kind of played the cards that was dealt. There was nothing stalwart about you. It's just kind of how the game was dealt. But in between those times of you having this flash in the pan moment, there was a bunch of mental lapses. You was in your head because you let the earlier mistakes get to you. Emotionally, you all over the place. You're not showing really too much poise in the pocket. Don't really know. You're not decisive on where you want to go with the ball. But we'll overlook all those things: the hesitancies, the overthinking, all these things, the lack of accuracy. We'll overlook all these things because we just want to make a boilerplate assumption of you when we create your draft profile, and that's not how any of the scouting is done. It's we do want to come down to the LSU and such game, because that's a big primetime game. I want to see you when the lights are brightest. I want to come see you when it's 7:30 on a Saturday. All right, bro, show me something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to see you the best against the best. And in the case of Allard, bro, you kind of missing that point each and every time out. So what am I to assume about you? Yeah. What am I supposed to assume about your maturity level? What do I think that your highest ceiling or floor is that you're gonna be a regular season champion, or that you can possibly lead me to a wild card every year? That's all you really show me at the end of the day. Or that I gotta have superstars here, and here for you to be successful. I can't. That's not really fitting the mold. And ain't outside of that, right? So yeah, we could say it's a matter of, good system fit or a good coaching. That's why these guys transfer a lot. But also, there's a part of it too where if I was to rely on coaching, college defenses have got better. So you got to pick it up.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is running some pretty interesting things out of a cover 2 shell. Ohio State operates pretty well out of a cover 3. They can go man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we're starting to see at the college level that officers have to pick that up too. So trying to overcome some of these hurdles are a little bit larger, which does come with game experience. That's what I'm kind of saying now, that you might as well just stay in college for about, instead of trying to dip after your 3 years, you might as well stay about 5-6 years. Because that's how long it's going to take for you to get this game down pat.
But yeah, some of these jokers start though. Like K started for 4 years. Drew started for 4 years. Ain't much. You can't stay past 4 years if you don't get a red shirt.
Well, then in that case, then the system worked too. For that point, the system still works because then you just washed out. You washed out because then, all right, we saw you for 4 years and you still didn't show what we needed to see. The system still worked. It just didn't lean in your favor.
Yeah. So, like I said, this quarterback class is not good. They got hyped up. And if you was an NFL team waiting for a quarterback, hey, this year might not be your year, big dog. Because I don't see none of them worth taking in the first round.
We got to get back to the roots, man. Again, I look at Chambliss from Ole Miss. Like I'm not scared of taking a JUCO product. Hell, look, I'm not saying he's Cam Newton, but at least he's seen college level talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So very early. Yeah, you got cats that hit early in like a Dante Moore, but
he looks decent. He looks good.
But also let's give these guys some room to breathe and let the system do its job. Let them wash their own selves out.
Yeah.
And if you want to bet your mortgage on taking on some of these cats next year, God bless you. And be respectful on the pricing of your house for the next person that's coming to get it.
Respectful. But yeah, man, that's just what it is. And speaking of pro in the draft, let's go switch over to pro. It's quarter of the season over. It's some teams that might be wanting to hit the panic button a little bit here. Might be wanting to hit the panic button. 4 games in the books. The Browns, who we thought the Browns would be. I don't know what you're waiting on now, especially after you lost this week. The Joe Flacco experiment is over. Even though he might give you the best chance to win, you got it. Like, at what point do you see what you have in the young boys? I know that's a hard pill to swallow for the team that wants to go out there and win, especially that defense. But at this point, you're not doing it. And I know Kevin Stefanski is trying to save his job, but at this point, you're hurting yourself more than you're helping the franchise because you drafted 2 quarterbacks. The least you can do is go see what they can do. At least Dylan Gabriel, if you draft them in the 3rd round. Like Joe Flacco, no matter what he might do, win you a couple games. He put some nasty picks this week. But he might win you a couple games. Like, I think the Browns, it's time to say, okay, this season's a wash. Let's see what the young boys do. Let's see what we got. Let's build for the future. I think you should have started the season but now that you're 1-3, I mean, technically,
it's the Packers game, bro. It was that Packers. It was that Packers game where they kind of just melted down at the end, where it was like, hold on, we can still. There might be a chance. There's a prayer that we might turn this thing around, but at the end of the day, it's like, no, bro, you guys are still. Yeah, one meltdown doesn't bring you guys back to life. That quarterback room was a hellhole to begin with, if we're being honest. You have to be fair, Deshaun Watson still lingers around in that building. You know what I'm saying? So, and to add 2 rookies on top of that, and whatever that was with Kenny Pickett during the preseason, like, bro, there was no order there to begin with. So to think that structure was going to fix itself is just foolish. So at this point, bro, just let the kids play. Have an in-season tournament for all I care, bro. Give Gabriel a series. Give Shedeur a series. At this point, Stefanski, respectfully, brother, you made your bed. Andrew Berry, you made your bed as a GM. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is done is done. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, it'll be better for you to say, hey, I can still pick good talent, or I can still develop good talent and put them on the field when you start to applying for your next job in that for that next rotation of head coaches next year, or OCs, or front office positions. it's better now to at least say like, hey, here's why, so you can show when you go to those meetings, here's why I did X, or here's why I drafted X because I saw this, So and for all intents and purposes, bro, hit the button. Shit, hell, you saw Dayball did it already. What
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you might as well try the same thing, bro, because you ain't gonna get no wins down there, bro. You're not.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's just time to play the young boys, see what's up. Giants did it, they won a game. Caught the Chargers lacking. Hey, I, it serves you no purpose starting Joe Flacco. Staying in that same division, the Ravens, man,
Baltimore, yeah.
they got some issues, man. They got some issues. I think the offense, even though they didn't play good against the Chiefs or something like that, the offensive issues are easily fixable. But that defense, that's not. That's not. That's
They
not.
are.
They are. Before, I think the secondary woes got kind of covered up because they had a pass rush and the defensive line was better. Now that defensive line ain't as good, the linebackers are not playing as good, and they do have an injury bug.
I about to
And
say they are riddled with injuries, bro.
yeah, it might be a long season for the Ravens. They can't stop the run. Secondary is not good. The only shining star right now is Kyle Hamilton. I don't want to say Nate Wiggins is playing that bad, but I think he got hurt today. He got banged up a
Yeah.
little bit today too.
Mm-hmm.
I just
They dropping
I
like
don't think
flies,
they
bro.
have enough. I think they can still make their way a wild card team because Joe is hurt and the Bengals ain't going to be good at all. And you can beat the Browns. And I think you can split with Pittsburgh maybe, and be like either maybe still have a chance to win division championship or wild card team. But they aspirations that they had at the beginning of the year, I think Lamar's going to be Lamar if he's healthy. He's
I
going to
say
be
he had a
he,
hamstring
he
injury.
had a hamstring injury. They got hit with an injury bug really heavy this year. But even before that, that defense that is not good. Not good.
And I mean, well, in all things to be fair, prior to the season, man, we had this defense probably what we was predicting somewhere in the top 5, hell, top 10. So uh from their front seven and back, bro, it was like, man, this can really be a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
But that got all blown to pieces, first week one. You know what I'm saying? That whole theory got blown to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And but even with a healthy roster, I still feel like they didn't have a closer on defense. And that's no disrespect to Roquan Smith because I still think he a killer, but at the same time, um, the same way TJ Watt is still regarded as a closer, same way Myles Garrett can be a closer. They never really have that, someone that X factor player. I mean, you have it in spades on offense with Lamar and Derrick Henry, which is kind of crumbling a little bit, but that presence still wasn't there on defense.
Yeah.
And you invested heavily in the secondary with making costly trades for Jari. Going safety early when usually you guys are like a defensive line team. Early rounds of the draft. But so and now it's trying to get back to square one, get back to the trenches. It's time to rebuild those rebuild those big boys again. So it's now everybody let my let my Ravens partners tell you, my Raven fan partners tell you, they will sell all the team for parts. That's where they at right now. They are screaming, hitting the red button, break the glass, all of it. But it's might be time to liquidate, bro. Especially if this Lamar injury is more severe than we think.
Yeah.
And sitting at 3 losses already is yeah, we ain't even get into that much division play yet.
That's yeah. It's time to hit the red button. And only reason why I can still seem to be in the playoff team because the division, Joe got hurt, and that puts two teams that's not that good in the division. So now you only got to really worry about Pittsburgh. I think the offense is good enough to beat up on the Browns. and the offense is good enough to beat up on the Bengals, who already don't got a good defense. But yeah, man, injury bug hit heavy this year, and yeah, it don't look good, man. It didn't look good. Didn't look good against the Chiefs. Didn't look good against the Lions. Just don't look good, man. Don't look good. Who could I say is the Dolphins? That's a fiasco. Like what do the Dolphins do this offseason? Like, do they make it past? Does Mike Daniels keep a job? Mike McDaniels keep a job? Like, what happens with the Dolphins this year? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, the Dolphins, though, what happens to Mike McDaniels at the end of the year, right? I don't see it getting any better. They could be the worst team in the division. That says a lot. They don't look good. Like, it just doesn't look good. And I think this is what happened when you have a person that's offensive minded heavily and forgets about defense. You let a lot of defensive guys walk out that door.
I was about to say, but so that was also like the gift and the curse, right? Because they had that balance when Vic Fangio was there for the Dolphins, right? But it just so happened that the players didn't like Vic Fangio, and you let the players kind of run the organization. Yep. You know, they didn't want to play for him, they didn't care for the scheme, whatever, so have you. But they had a bevy of talent down there in the Dolphins. But instead, you listen to the players over the coach. He leaves, then they soon follow right after him, understanding like, hey, maybe we're just corrupt from the root up, you know. So now McDaniel, you just out back, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's bad. The defense is like it's looking like a soft team. So I think you're looking at like probably a fire coach. I don't know if he makes it the whole year. I don't know if he makes it the whole year. I really don't know if the Browns coach make it the whole year, especially if that starts turning worse than it already is. But I know one topic that you want to talk about, as far as with the pros, is your team. Y'all are winning, but how do you feel about the win?
As a thing, you would believe that we're like damn 0-4 right now, you know, just from some of the dialogue that we have online, bro. But it's you winning, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel like a dominant 4-0 team. To be fair, up until this past Sunday against the Rams, the Colts felt more dominant. And that's even crazier to say, but the way they were winning and how smooth they looked on offense and and the play they was getting from their stars on defense made more sense. But with the Eagles, it's like, yeah, your defense showed up big some games. Special teams has made a lot of big plays, closed out some games or kicked off some games in some sense. But each game, it has been the offense. And we're just sitting here wondering, all right, when is it going to kick in? When is it going to kick in? When is it finally going to turn on? We're going to start showing those, that playoff team that we saw at the end of last year. When can Saquon get a 100-yard game, or start breaking off them 60, 70-yard runs that we used to seeing?
Facts.
Well, here's the truth. Here's the cold water. That offensive line is not the same. I think they're a lot more banged up than they let the media know. I think switching coordinators every year at the same time every year does not help. There is a turnover in play calling every year, and it shows. It comes out, it always leads to like a slow start in the beginning of the season. That doesn't mean that nothing will change. And above all else, Jalen Hurts is my guy, but a part of the success and not turning the ball over leads to a lot less explosive plays. You're not taking those risky chances and those down the field shots as much when the priority is to protect the ball. So which kind of leads to cats like, AJ, putting cryptic tweets out there, or maybe being upset on the sideline because we're not getting those. He's not having like a 10, 12 catch game like Puka or like some of the other receivers in the league, or he's not dominating like, other cats like CD and stuff like that, because we're not going to take those same chances that Dak would do or like Justin Herbert would do, because that's not the same style of play that Jalen Hurts plays. He's more about like a team win. He'll value a team win over you getting your stats.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not conducive.
Mm-hmm.
So there's multiple factors that I'm not saying we're definitely not hitting the panic button at 4-0. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there, history being our best teacher, that 2023 team where you like had like a full-on collapse, it's seeming like the Eagles are more closer to that team than they are to last season's Super Bowl winners. Just because how that offense is, if it ain't squeaking, it's damn near off the rails, bro. It's kind of like heading to like that dead end of, it's just a matter of time before, like, if defense fails us, if the special teams fails the Eagles, then and we're only less to the offense picking us up. Oh man, man, it's just like a matter of which Sunday is it that our number is gonna get called.
Yeah, this was like 3 straight games. Your quarterback hasn't thrown for 200 yards at least.
200 in the Rams game for certain. And I think
130 today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's only less than sub 200 for the rest of the other 3 games.
Saquon ain't got it going. I don't know. It don't feel right. I feel like the Rams gave that game away with that L. And I think, like you said, special teams ended the game last week. They kind of started the game this week, where that punt saved you. That block punt saved you. So, because once they got kind of blocked up, got your boys blocked up on defensive line, Baker started to cook a little bit, and started to show the deficiencies. What's protecting what the Ravens wanted to do this year with their defense is what y'all are doing with y'all defense. Y'all know y'all secondary ain't the strongest, but we got a strong front seven, and we can get after the quarterback. Yeah. So it kind of, them guys have to cover as long, but it's shown the longer they got to cover,
inefficiencies. And that's also like to the Ravens' benefit. It's like, hey, we had veteran pieces in place for those inefficiencies. I mean, it just so happened they got hit with the injury bug, but with like the Eagles, again, turnover, right? So you lose a Milton Williams, you lose a Josh Sweat, you lose a Darius Slay. Now those young guys are more vulnerable or having to play like more prominent roles, are getting hit with, explosive plays like the Bucks got over them with, the long 70-yard plays where that's on like a rookie safety or a deep 72-yard pass on a rookie linebacker I think it was like a improvised wheel route or something like that. Now younger players are having to play a more prominent role. So again, it's some would say it's the you kind of like victims of success to a certain extent, with the constant change in personnel, constant change of coaching. But as history shown us, it can either go one or two ways. You can either come back, return from it, fix your issues, and return back to the playoffs ready to repeat, or you just gonna fall completely off the tracks, man.
Yeah, man. So, a couple of narratives early in these games, still early. Things can change. But, just some people that need to be on notice, like, hey, it can fall off the rails real quick for you. I mean,
any moment.
Like, I think the most surprising team is the Colts. Nobody thought they would be this where they at right now. Who else is good? It's the Colts. I think everybody else is kind of, we expect the Chargers. I think the most impressive is the Chargers with them 3 division wins off the rip. That's impressive. Like, off the rip, that's very impressive.
Yeah, but that caught a lot of people by surprise. How do we feel about the Jaguars on the, saying as
they won today. I didn't get to see.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Jags, man? How we criticize, we criticize Trevor Lawrence often, but 3-1.
Is it because of him or because defense is playing really good?
3-1.
Yeah,
they can run the ball.
They can run the ball. Like getting rid of Tank Bigsby, but Tootin and ETN is crushing it. A lot of people like the fact that it was a competition between Bigsby and ETN. I told people before, I thought that was crazy. I think ETN is like, when healthy, is probably one of the most dynamic backs. Like he in that class with Jameer and Bijan. It's like he might not be as good as a catcher, but as far as dynamic, can make plays, big plays.
Mm-hmm. Home run hitter. Yeah, he's like a James Cook. Yeah,
big plays. And he's showing that. And then you add Tootin that's coming in, catching the ball, getting touchdowns when he needs to, like as a good 1-2 punch. And that defense is improved by a lot too. So, I mean, hey, the Jags in that AFC South, that Jags Colts game, be a game. You know what I'm saying? The Texans.
I'm about to say that's something to monitor with we not really knowing where the Texans are going.
At first, I was fully prepared. We talked about the pod. We both fully prepared to kick CJ Stroud back in. After watching the game, I watched a lot of that game on like the multi-view with my red Sunday ticket. That line is bad. It's a bad offensive line.
It's ugly.
So I can't put it all on him. That's a bad offensive line, bro. I mean, I saw Justin Simmons get off the center, beat the guard in less than this. I mean, dude couldn't get out of his stance. Drop that before dude was right there. I was like,
bruh, like they from whatever operational issue you have, from like knowing the snap count to knowing, having a quick first step to, I don't know, bro, to just in that play alone that you're mentioning, it's operationally bad.
Yeah.
Like at the core, day one install bad.
Yeah.
So, but again, we just got done talking about turnover, right? They're letting cats leave, bro.
That's a bad offensive line. I was like wondering what was going on with CJ Stroud. And it's some 60% of it is him too. I think he's missing some throws himself, but that other 40%, the offensive line is not good. It's not good, bro. It's not good. And this is coming off them struggling against a bad Tennessee team.
Mm-hmm.
A bad Tennessee team. They got together towards the end of the game, but that like you said, with the Jags kind of settling into their spot and the Colts, again, another conversation to be had another day. Brian Daboll, I try to tell y'all, he's not the quarterback whisperer thing. I know y'all gonna say it because Jackson Dart won the game and everything this week, but he basically won it doing the same thing Daniel Jones was doing for him that year they went to the playoffs. Right? But the only difference is y'all don't have they don't have Saquon Barkley back there. And you got Malik Neighbors is hurt and probably out for the season, right? But Daniel Jones, 22 for 30, 22 for 28 for 250, 2 tubs and a pick. He had a pick this game. But
good Rams team. It's worth mentioning.
Is Daniel Jones like? Was it Daniel? Is it Daniel? It can't be the player every time, right?
No, that's that would be gaslighting.
The same thing. Y'all picked them over Saquon.
Yeah, and let them walk away for free. Y'all didn't get nothing in return.
Boy, you preaching now, boy. You preaching now, boy. Some teams what we always say, some teams just meant to be bad, bro. Yeah, some organizations just always gonna be bad.
Yeah, bad teams make bad choices, so that's what and we let them do it.
Yeah, bro. It is what it is, man. But narratives, quarter of the season over, first month of football is over. Good month. I think this is like we're looking in for a very competitive college and pro season. I don't think anybody's going to separate themselves in college as a dominant team. I think we won't know till the game happens who's going to be in the championship game. Or even in the playoffs of college football and pro football. Some teams, having to like maybe revamp some things, revamp expectations, a lot of stuff. So, it's still exciting up for an exciting team though. Exciting year.
For a fire sale. Get ready for a fire sale.
Yeah, definitely enough to make an exciting year. But yeah, like that, man. Don't forget. Let me put it up here again, man, so y'all can see what y'all have to do. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel because this is the premier spot to talk sports with the average guys. My name is Anthony. Got my main man Kenny.
Yes, sir.
And until next time, man, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check us out every Thursday live. Join us. Come chat with us. Hang out with us live on every Thursday, 9:45. Well, every week, 9:45. Some days it might not be Thursday.
We work.
You know what I'm saying? Some days it might not be Thursday. Don't miss it this week. You know what I'm saying? Live because it's rivalry week this week. The Battle of the Bay is this week. Just saying. Battle of the Bay is Friday, Saturday. So you might not want to miss what we got to say about that. You know what I'm saying? And I got some shit to say about these Bama fans, but that's for Thursday. So until next time, man, I'll holla.